Hello there and welcome along to the horseracing.net preview of the second day of the 2020 Goodwood Festival. Now, at the time of recording on Tuesday evening, we've just seen the final race of the first day. It was a real race day to savour, and the big winner was, of course, Stradivarius. Created history by winning the Goodwood Cup for a record fourth time, and it didn't seem like he was going to do it in running. He had plenty to do and boxed in behind both Santiago and Evf Road, but Frankie Dettori nor Stradivarius gave up, as game as they come, and he's one of the great stayers, isn't he, that we've seen over the past decade or so. Anyway, the feature race on Wednesday could be a race to savour as well. Looks the race of the week. It's the Group 1 Sussex Stakes. It's where we'll start. It's at 3:15, and there's 8 runners going to post here. 7 runners going to post, sorry. Of the 7, I'd say 6 have at least some sort of a chance. I really don't think San Donato is quite up to it, but you can tweet me when he wins at 25-1. But of the rest, it looks a real race to savour this. It pitches the older horses against the classic generation for the first time over a mile, as far as the colts are concerned anyway. And with 2 classic winners here as well, starting with the favourite, the Irish 2000 Guineas winner Siskin, who arrives here unbeaten in 5 starts so far. Now, this will be his first try or first race even over in the United Kingdom. He's unbeaten in 5 starts in Ireland, and he was very, very impressive when winning the Guineas at the Curragh last month. Overcame traffic problems that day, won going away at the line, and whether he should be the rightful favourite here is up for debate. I think on the bare form, he has something to find with the likes of Circus Maximus and Kameko. He'll probably need a career best here. It isn't out the realms of possibility, of course, that he is capable of a lot more yet when given the chance to do so. He's going to receive £8 from his older rivals. That's a big bonus, and he will likely go close on the Colin Keane. It's another big plus that he comes over, but at 2-1 looks worth taking him on at the prices. And I'm going to do that with Kameko. Now, he's a Guineas winner as well. Won the Newmarket Guineas, of course, last month under Oisin Murphy. And the form of that, I think, is the strongest on offer in this field. He beat 2 very smart colts that day in Pinatubo and Wichita, who reopposes. And okay, he was beaten in the Epsom Derby last time out, but I think you can forgive him for that run. He was 4th. He looked a bit stretched by the trip. And as well, not many really got into the race that day because Serpentine very much slipped them. The drop back to a mile will very, very much suit him. It could be, though, that he is at his best over a mile and a quarter. We will find that out in the international stakes at York next month, but there does seem to be a genuine desire from Sheikh Fahad to find out which Guineas winner is the best. I think on the bare form, Kameko has shown a lot stronger form so far than Siskin. He receives £8, as we said, from the older horses. I think he's the one to beat here, but I will go through the remainder of the runners. Wichita, I don't think you can write him off yet. He was behind Kameko at Newmarket last month, but he followed that with a good effort to finish 3rd in the St James Palace Stakes last time out behind Palace Pier and Pinatubo. He's the main pace angle here, which makes him really interesting. He is very much the outsider of 5, but it's a fast mile here. If they give him too much rope, he really could be dangerous under a forceful ride. Similar comments apply to Circus Maximus. He has made it in the past. I don't think he will be doing so this time around, but he's a very, very solid horse for this sort of race. He's a 3-time winner at Group 1 level, and sets a standard here really on the basis that he won the Queen Anne Stakes last month. He was a really game winner that day, but giving away £8 to the younger horses is a huge ask here. I do think he's closely matched on form with Kameko, so I think at the prices it's worth taking him on as well, particularly when you remember that he has to confirm that form with Mohaather, who was 7th in the Queen Anne Stakes last month, but it was hard not to have the eye drawn to him, how well he was travelling before the door was abruptly shut in his face. He's followed that up with a brilliant win in the Group 2 Summer Mile at Ascot last time out. San Donato was behind him that day. He looks a Group 1 performer in the making. This is his opportunity, and I think he's more likely to cope with giving away weight than Circus Maximus is. I think he still is open to a bit of improvement after just 7 starts. He's pretty lightly raced for a 4-year-old. And last but not least, you can't completely write off Vatican City either, because he represents the Aidan O'Brien team. We know that their 3-year-olds are well-bred types. I mean, he is a son of Galileo. He was just behind Shishkin in the Irish 2000 Guineas last month, and he's a full brother to Glen Eagles as well. He ran no sort of race at Epsom, but not many did. He's open to more improvement yet on just his 5th start. He's a fascinating and lively outsider, about 14-1. This is a race to savour. Kameko is the bet as far as I'm concerned, but you can make a case for plenty. Okay, we're going to go now and look at the rest of the card. We'll start with the 110, which is the Evf Phillies Handicap. This is a contest over a mile and 2 furlongs for the fillies. 8 go to post, and it's unoriginal, but I think it's difficult to look past the favourite here. She's 6-4, Waliak. Apologies if I've butchered that. But yeah, she arrives here after a brilliant effort to finish 2nd in what looked a really warm renewal, I thought, of the Sandringham Handicap at Royal Ascot last month. It's been franked since that form because the winner's gone on to win a listed race over in France. And Waliak has just raised £3 here. I think there could be more to come from her yet. She gets weight from the rest of the field here, and this looks a really good opportunity for her to pick up a 2nd career success. I think of the rest, apologies again, Gazaya or Nakatazi are potentially the 2 biggest dangers. Some real tongue twisters in here, but Waliak is my selection in the first race. The second race is at 1:45. It's another handicap. This time it's for the stayers. It's the Unibet Iran Goodwood Handicap. 16 go to post. This is over 2.5 miles and half a furlong. And yeah, there's lots of interesting types in here. There's a lot of form from Royal Ascot as well. You've got Coeur de Lion, who won the Ascot Stakes. You've got Summer Moon, who was behind him in 3rd that day. They are both interesting types, but come here off higher marks after those good runs. And you also have the Grand Vizier as well. He won the Ascot Stakes back in 2019. He'll carry top weight. He was 3rd in the Queen Alexandra last time out, but that was in a conditions race. He's got a tougher task here now, back in handicap company. There's an informed type in here as well. When you think of staying handicaps on the flat, you think jumps yards. Well, Oleg represents the Paul Nicholls team. Holly Doyle's on board rather than Megan here. But he arrives here in really, really good form. He's won his last 2 starts. Would be suited if there was a strong pace on. But I think for win purposes, it could be worth going with True Destiny. He's another upwardly mobile type. He won 3 times over staying trips, and then he was 3rd in this race last year. He's run twice so far this year, which should have blown away the cobwebs. And he was staying on really well in the Marsh Cup and Newbury last time out. He's going to be fit here. He's only £4 higher than when 3rd in this race last year. I think a strong pace would suit him, and he looks the way to go at about 6-1. So 2:15 is race number 3, another handicap. This is the Unibet 3 boosts a day handicap, over 1.5 miles, and 11 go to post here. And we've got to start with Carlos Felix. He's a purchase by Darren Yates, and he costs an awful lot of money, £700,000, if my memory serves me well, as a 2-year-old last year. I'm just Googling that, but the computer's being really slow. Yes, €700,000 represents David Simcock, and he's been a bit of a slow burner so far because he's had several runs to date, 5 runs, and he's been a bit of a slow burner, but he everything came together when he won at Ascot last time out. He was such an expensive purchase. He's bred to be smart. You'd think that there's more to come from him yet, but he faces a £10 rise here. He's up to a mark of 88. That could be a tough ask here in what looks a wide open contest. There's more progressive pairs in here. Winner Clock, Glentees were both successful last time out. They've both been given small rises for that. Could be still competitive, but the one I'm going to go with is in Cypher, represents Godolphin, powerful connections here, John Gosden and Frankie Dettori on a mark of 98. He's another lightly raced type, and he was another lightly raced type, and he was flying too high in the Dante Stakes last time out, but there's no shame in that in a Group 2 company because he's bred to be smart, and he's interesting now, switched into handicap company this time around. I think the extra 2 furlongs are going to suit him here. He can prove well treated off a mark of 98. 2:45 is the Morecambe Stakes. It's a Group 3 contest over 5 furlongs. This is going to be fast and frenetic. 10 runners due to go to post. And there's a few to note here. Significantly is the favourite at the time of the recording, which is really interesting because he's still a maiden after 3 starts, but he's shown some really good form. He was pretty unlucky, you'd say, not to win a listed contest at Sandown last time out. Travelled really strongly into that and then just got nipped on the line. Steel Bull was interesting as well, the Irish raider. Colin Keane takes the ride. Could be anything, really. Bred to be useful. Won well on debut over this trip at Naas last week. He's respected if he makes the most of the quick turnaround. But I think the way to go here is Sardinia's Sunset. She's also shown some pretty good form so far in juvenile contests. She was fourth at the Royal Meeting in the Queen Mary. And then she backed that up with a really, really game success in a listed contest at York earlier this month. I was pretty taken with her attitude that day. It'll serve her well here. She's clearly got plenty of pace and ability, and in an open-looking Morecambe, yeah, she looks the way to go at about 72. Nearly there now. The 3:45 is the sixth race on the card. It's another 5 furlong contest. It's a fillies conditions race. And there's only 6 runners in here, but it looks really, really competitive. 5 of the 6 would have really, really strong claims. The outsider, Lady Amalthea, is making her debut for James Chapel-Hyam. She's got a really big ask at 28-1 to get involved. But the other 5 all look to have claims. We'll start with Furlong Factor. Been busy already, 5 starts already after just 8 weeks of the season, and she's held her own in listed contests the last twice. And Pelikai is another one who's shown pretty useful form so far from Mark Johnston. 3 starts for him and for her, and she'd be interested if given a similarly forceful ride to the one that she was given when winning on debut at Newcastle at the beginning of last month. Sprite is another one with plenty of speed. She's respected, but I think the way to go here is Miss Jingles. She's bred to have plenty of speed. She's related to plenty of winners over sprint trips, and she represents powerful connections as well. Godolphin in the form of Charlie Appleby and William Buick. She took a really firm step forward from her debut when winning at Sandown earlier this month, just a week ago. She prevailed by a neck that day, but she's bred to be speedy. She should really take a step forward from that. I got the impression that she's still very much learning on the job. It's a 3rd start now. I'd expect her to be much wiser this time around. And she looks the way to go at about 3-1. Last but not least is at 4:20. It's the final race. It's the Theo Fennell Handicap. This is a fiendishly difficult 20-runner handicap over 7 furlongs. And this could go any number of ways. This is one of the most difficult races of the day, if not the week. Society Lion is popular in the market. He's an upwardly mobile 3-year-old. Mottrid ticks a similar box, as does Mountain Brave. Arigato's in form, but considering how open this is, it could be worth going with Dirty Rascal each way at about 12-1 at the time of recording. Now, he won this race last year, and admittedly, he hasn't shown an awful lot since, but he's only raced 4 times in total. 3 of those have come this year, and he will strip fitter from those runs so far this season. And the big thing about Dirty Rascal here is that he's got a low draw in stall 4. That's very important at Goodwood. Similarly low draw to when winning this last year, and he slipped down to a similar mark as well. He's just £1 higher than he's off the same mark, as when winning this last year. Tom Marquand was in the saddle last year, back on board this time around. Looks worth siding with at a double-figure price. Anyway, that is the rundown of the card on day 2 of Glorious Goodwood. Head over to horseracing.net for selections at each and every race, and we'll see you tomorrow.